The stars were silent that night. In a small corner of the Milky Way, a dying blue planet sent out its last message. The signal was weak, carried by old satellites and broken antennas. But it was a message filled with hope and pain. Earth was falling apart. The oceans had risen, cities were gone, and nations no longer existed. The wars had ended not because of peace, but because there was nothing left to fight for. Humanity stood at the edge of extinction, and so they looked to the stars. The Galactic Council, a great union of alien civilizations, ruled the galaxy from their shining world. Ardent Prime, they were ancient, powerful, and proud. They had seen hundreds of worlds rise and fall. To them, humanity was just another primitive race. Too violent, too emotional, too late to survive still. The humans tried. From a bunker deep under the ruins of New Geneva, a woman named Dr. Elena Mirek activated the transmitter. She was one of the last scientists left. Her voice trembled as she spoke, not because of fear, but because of sadness. "This is Earth," she said. "We ask for help, not pity. Our planet is dying, but we still believe in peace. Please, don't let us disappear." The signal left the solar system and crossed the dark emptiness of space. It took days to reach the nearest relay, weeks to reach the council, months before it was finally heard. And when the message was played in the council chamber, filled with hundreds of alien delegates, silence lasted only a moment. Then came laughter. "They ask for peace?" One delegate mocked. "They burned their own world." Another laughed. "They kill their kind for land and money, and now they want help?" The hall filled with cruel voices. Even the council speaker smiled coldly. "They call themselves humans," he said, "but they behave like beasts. Why should the stars answer a dying animal's cry?" The decision was made that same day. No aid, no response. Earth was to be ignored, forgotten. Back on Earth, months passed with no answer. The sky grew darker as the atmosphere collapsed. Satellites fell. The seas boiled. Billions had already died, and those who remained knew the truth. No one was coming. Dr. Mirek stood on the rooftop of the bunker, staring at the red horizon. "They heard us," she whispered, "and they laughed." Her assistant, a young engineer named Ryan Carter, clenched his fists. "Then let them laugh," he said. "Let them think we're gone." That night, as the last power cells died, Ryan sent one final transmission, a secret code buried deep in the message archives. It carried only 6 words. They laughed. "We will remember. The world burned." Years turned into decades. The galaxy moved on. The Council's fleets fought new wars, colonized new systems, and built new empires. No one spoke of Earth anymore. It became a ghost story, a warning to other young races. "Do not follow the path of the humans," the elders would say. They destroyed themselves, but they were wrong. Far beyond the Council's eyes, in the dark edge of space, something stirred. Old satellites that had drifted for centuries suddenly powered up. Abandoned space stations near Mars flickered to life. Deep beneath the frozen surface of Luna, ancient human bunkers began to hum with energy. The humans were not gone. They had survived, changed, hardened, and united by one memory: the laugh of the universe. Inside the hidden base known as Erebus Station, descendants of the survivors worked in silence. They no longer used names. They used ranks. They no longer spoke of revenge, only of the return. A young commander looked out at the stars from the observation deck. "Do you think they remember us?" he asked quietly. An old voice answered behind him, calm, cold, and certain. "They will." The commander turned to face the speaker, an old hologram of Dr. Elena Mirek preserved in the base's AI core. Her final message still played across the screens. "We asked for help. We were mocked. But we are human, and humans remember." The commander saluted the image. Then he gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. "Activate Project Iron Dawn." Engines roared in the underground hangars. Massive ships, dark and sharp, began to rise from the dust. They had no nation flags, no colors, only a single symbol carved into their hulls: a broken Earth. Surrounded by stars, the forgotten planet had woken. Meanwhile, on Ardent Prime, the Galactic Council prepared for another routine session. Ambassadors laughed, argued, and traded news about border disputes. No one noticed that several deep space listening posts had gone silent. No one cared that a cargo convoy near the Sol system had vanished. Until one day, a signal appeared on every galactic frequency. It was short, ancient, and written in a dead language. Only one species could have sent it, we remember. The council chamber fell silent. No one laughed this time, because they all knew. The humans had returned. The message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. 3 words glowing on every comm screen, every satellite, every relay station. We remember. At first, no one believed it. Old scientists claimed it was a hoax. Smugglers joked that it was pirates pretending to be human. The council ordered the message deleted from every public network. But it was too late. The entire galaxy had already seen it. The forgotten name, Earth, was on everyone's lips again. A growing fear on Ardent Prime, the Galactic Council gathered in a tense emergency session. The speaker, a tall, silver-skinned alien named Vorn Talesh, slammed his staff against the floor. "Who dares send this?" he demanded. "Earth is gone. Humanity is extinct." But deep inside, he wasn't sure anymore. There were rumors, quiet, strange whispers, of ships disappearing near the outer rim. A mining station near the dead Sol system had gone dark. A trade convoy reported ghost lights, small, fast, invisible on sensors. One frightened captain described them in a trembling voice. They didn't fire. They just watched. Their ships had no color, no light, and before they vanished, I saw their symbol, a broken Earth. The chamber fell silent. Whispers among the stars weeks passed. The council sent scouts, but none returned. The few who did came back half mad, speaking of black ships moving without sound, faster than anything the galaxy had seen. "They use gravity like wings," one scout whispered before collapsing. "They don't fly. They fall through space." No one understood what that meant, but one thing was clear. The humans were back. Far away, hidden inside a cloud of cosmic dust, the human fleet watched in silence. Thousands of ships, dark as night, waited around a huge command vessel, the Revenant. Inside its bridge stood Commander Ryan Carter, the descendant of the last engineer who had sent Earth's final message. His eyes were calm, but his voice was cold. "The council thinks we died," he said. "Let them believe it a little longer." A younger officer frowned. "Should we attack now, sir?" Ryan shook his head. "Not yet. They must remember why we came. Fear is a better teacher than fire." He turned to the screen showing the council world. "Prepare the echo broadcast. Let them hear our silence." The echo broadcast at exactly 0300 galactic time. Every major communication network froze. News channels, military relays, even private transmissions. All went black. Then an old human voice echoed through every speaker. "This is Earth. We asked for peace. You laughed, we waited. We remembered, no image, no location, only the sound of wind and thunder behind the words. Then silence. But in that silence, something stirred. On 3 planets, power grids failed. On another, orbiting satellites simply vanished. Entire systems fell dark, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. When power finally returned, messages appeared on screens everywhere. "Do you still laugh?" The councils panicked. The council went into chaos. Admirals shouted. Ministers demanded answers. Vorn Talesh ordered every fleet to prepare for defense, but no one knew where to aim. "Are they coming for us?" asked one ambassador. "No," said another, shaking his head. "If they wanted war, we'd already be dead." A scientist spoke softly from the corner. "They're watching, testing us." But Vorn didn't want to listen. He believed in power, not ghosts. "Send the Vanguard fleet to the Sol system," he commanded. "Find these humans and destroy them." 50 warships jumped to hyperspace. The vanishing fleet 3 days later. Only silence came back. The last transmission from the Vanguard was a blurred video. Stars twisting, metal screaming, and a voice shouting, "They're inside the light." Then nothing, no wreckage, no distress signals. The fleet was simply gone. The council finally realized the truth. They were facing something beyond their understanding. The shadow fleet far from the chaos, on the edge of a dying nebula, the human fleet continued its silent work. Commander Ryan watched as engineers calibrated new weapons. Energy lances that bent time, drones that thought like men, ships controlled by AI spirits. Every human aboard had one purpose, remembrance. But they weren't monsters. They didn't seek blood. They sought justice. Ryan stood beside the hologram of Dr. Elena Mirek, still preserved within the ship's AI core. Her gentle face looked at him. "Will you destroy them, Ryan?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "No, we'll make them remember what they forgot: mercy, compassion, respect." Then she said, "Perhaps humanity has truly evolved." He smiled faintly. "No, Doctor. Humanity simply learned." A storm approaches. In the following weeks, the galaxy grew restless. Everywhere lights flickered. Communication networks failed for seconds at a time, just long enough for one phrase to appear: the forgotten cry. People started fearing the night sky. Traders avoided old routes. The words "the humans" became a curse, a warning, a prayer. And yet among the common races, the farmers, workers, and miners, something strange happened. They began to admire the humans. Stories spread of how Earth had once begged for peace and been mocked. Many whispered, maybe they were right to remember. The council grew weaker as fear divided its members. Some wanted peace, others wanted war, but all agreed on one thing: the silence was worse than any battle. The return. Then one day a single ship appeared above Ardent Prime, a small black craft drifting silently in orbit. It didn't fire, it didn't move. It simply waited. The Council's defense systems locked onto it instantly. "Destroy it!" Vorn shouted. Missiles launched. Beams of plasma cut through the void. But when the light faded, the human ship was gone. In its place, only one message remained on every defense screen: "This is only the beginning." The council chamber fell into stunned silence. No one laughed anymore. Every delegate felt it. The storm was coming. And somewhere beyond the stars, Commander Ryan Carter whispered to his crew, "Now they will remember. Prepare the Iron Fleet. We move soon." The universe didn't know it yet, but the silence of humanity was about to end. The galaxy was no longer silent. Every world, every ship, every colony spoke of one thing: the return of the humans. No one had seen them clearly. No one had heard their voices. But their presence was felt everywhere. In vanished fleets, broken satellites, and the strange messages that appeared on every major world. We remember, do you? Fear had become a shadow that followed every leader in the Galactic Council. The gathering storm, in the deep void beyond the Council's reach, the humans prepared. Far from any star, hidden inside a massive nebula of crimson gas, there floated something incredible: the Iron Fleet. Thousands of ships, built in silence, forged from the ruins of old Earth colonies, drifted like sleeping giants. Their armor was black and silver, designed to absorb light instead of reflect it. Each vessel was powered by core singularity reactors, something no other race dared to use. At the center of this mighty fleet was the command ship, the Revenant, a colossal warship larger than any ever built before. Inside, Commander Ryan Carter stood before a large viewing window, his face calm but his eyes full of quiet fire. Around him, holographic screens glowed, showing hundreds of fleet movements, coded messages, and mission plans. "Status?" he asked. A young officer replied, "All wings ready, sir." "The Iron Fleet stands by," Ryan nodded slowly. "Then history will finally remember who we are." The ghosts of Earth before the fleet could move. A ceremony took place inside the Revenant's main hall. Every officer, soldier, and pilot stood in silence before a holographic image of Earth, their lost home. Ryan spoke to them. His voice was steady, clear, and full of pride. "Centuries ago, our ancestors cried out for help. The galaxy laughed. They called us savages, beasts, and fools. But today we return, not for revenge, but for remembrance. We are not monsters. We are survivors." He looked at the glowing blue image of their home world. "Earth may be gone," he said, "but humanity never died. The stars are now our home, and we will make them remember our name." The soldiers raised their fists, shouting as one, "For Earth! For humanity!" The echoes of their voices shook the halls like thunder, the Council's arrogance. Meanwhile, on Ardent Prime, the Council refused to believe that humans could be powerful again. Chairman Vorn Talesh ordered the creation of a new strike force, the Purity Armada, made up of the galaxy's strongest ships. "We will find these ghosts," he declared. and erase their memory forever. But not everyone agreed. One council member, a soft-voiced reptilian named Dosa, spoke carefully. "Chairman, perhaps we should open communication. They could be reasoned with." Vorn slammed his staff down. "Reasoned with? With a race that vanished for centuries. They are no better than machines now." His arrogance blinded him. He didn't know that even as he spoke, human probes were already recording his every word from orbit. The first movement back in the nebula, Ryan watched the Council's preparations through stolen transmissions. "They're building fleets again," said Officer Mira, his second in command. Ryan smirked. "Good. Let them gather everything they have. The stronger they come, the louder their fall." He turned to the fleet channel. "All ships, initiate Operation Dawnlight. Let the galaxy see us, but not all of us." Moments later, a dozen human ships uncloaked near the Ardent border. The alien patrols panicked as dark shapes appeared out of nowhere. "Identify yourselves," shouted the alien commander over comms. A single reply came, calm, cold human. "We are the sons and daughters of Earth." The aliens opened fire immediately. Blue plasma streaked across the void, but every shot missed. The human ships moved like shadows, vanishing and reappearing in perfect synchronization. Seconds later, the alien ships went dark. Engines offline, weapons disabled. No deaths, only silence. Before leaving, the humans transmitted one message to all nearby systems. "We do not kill without reason. But we do not forgive mockery." The entire sector froze in fear. The message spreads within days. News spread across the stars. The Iron Fleet had been seen. The humans had returned with technology that defied logic. On frontier worlds, people began painting the human symbol, the broken Earth, on walls and ships. To them, humanity had become a legend of justice and vengeance combined. The Council tried to control the panic, but even some of their soldiers began to question their leaders. Whispers spread in the barracks. Maybe the humans were right. Maybe we were wrong. The Council's dilemma chairman Vorn was furious. He ordered every communication about the humans to be censored, but fear had already spread too far. In a private meeting, Dosa confronted him. "Vorn," she said quietly, "the humans have not attacked civilians. They've avoided bloodshed. Maybe they just want recognition," Vorn glared. "They want domination, not respect." He turned away from her, looking out the window at the stars. If they think they can make the Council kneel, they are mistaken. But deep down, he was afraid. Because even he couldn't explain how 50 warships had vanished without a trace. The Iron Fleet Moves Commander Ryan stood in the Revenant's command bridge, watching the holographic map of the galaxy. "The Council will send everything they have soon," Mira said. Ryan nodded. "And we'll be ready. But before they attack, we'll give them one more chance." He ordered a transmission to be sent directly to the Galactic Council. The message was simple, only a few lines. "This is Commander Ryan Carter of the Iron Fleet. Centuries ago, Earth asked for peace. You answered with laughter. We do not seek war, but we will not hide anymore. Remember us before it's too late." Then the transmission ended. The calm before chaos. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council had no reply. Their sensors detected the fleet, thousands of human ships, forming along the outer rim. Every weapon was armed, every defense ready, but the humans did nothing. They simply waited, watching, waiting. On Ardent Prime, the people looked up at the night sky and saw strange new stars. Stars that moved. They whispered in fear and awe. "The humans are watching." And deep within the Revenant, Ryan Carter whispered to himself, "This is not the end. It's the awakening." The silence stretched across the galaxy like a storm-building power. The silence before the reckoning. The stars over Ardent Prime burned as brightly as ever. But the galaxy had changed. The Council had always been confident, proud of their fleets, their weapons, their control over the stars. Now all that confidence teetered on the edge of fear. Reports had come in from every outpost. Entire fleets disappearing. Strange black ships moving faster than anything known. And cryptic messages repeating over every channel. "We remember." No one had laughed at the message this time. The arrival high above Ardent Prime. The horizon of space was suddenly pierced by shadows. Hundreds of ships appeared out of nowhere. The vanguard of the Iron Fleet. They did not announce themselves with fire or war cries. They simply hovered silently, perfectly aligned, their black hulls reflecting no light. On the council's observation deck, alarm screamed. Chairman Vorn Talesh stomped his staff. "Identify them!" He roared. "Weapons! Open fire!" Firing sequences began, but the human ships did not respond. The council fleet scanned them. Shields were impenetrable, engines invisible, their movements faster than thought. A young officer whispered, trembling, "Sir, they are untouchable." Vorn's face turned red with anger. "Then we crush them, now!" The calm before impact from the Revenant, Commander Ryan Carter watched the council's panic unfold. He spoke to his officers. "Today is not about destruction. It is about remembrance. Target their weapons, not their people. Disable them, but do not kill." Every human ship moved with perfect precision. Their drones struck first, silently, cutting communications and disabling engines. Plasma fire from the council fleet bounced off invisible shields. Missiles dissolved in energy fields before reaching the hulls. And then the message came. "You laughed at our plea. Remember this," the words were sent across every comm channel. The entire planet of Ardent Prime heard them. Panic spread faster than fire. The first strike. The humans struck only military targets. Command centers, weapon factories, and fleet depots were disabled in hours. No civilians were harmed. The city dome windows remained intact. The streets were empty but alive with silence. Council members fled from the chambers as their alarms failed one by one. Ships that once boasted hundreds of weapons became useless floating hulks. Entire squadrons of fighter ships fell from orbit, powerless, unable to move. Vorn Talesh screamed, "This is impossible! How can one planet do this?" A holographic screen showed the Revenant hovering calmly above the planet. Its shadow stretched across the surface like a dark omen. The message of Earth, then the humans spoke again. This time their message was visible across the entire world, etched into the atmosphere by powerful ion pulses, bright as daylight, yet impossible to touch. "We do not forget. We do not forgive. You laughed at humanity, remember? Every eye on the planet saw the symbol of Earth, broken but encircled by stars. Children screamed, soldiers froze, leaders wept in silence. The power of humanity was undeniable. The council's panic inside the council chamber, chaos reigned. Advisors shouted, blaming each other. Ministers scrambled to summon reinforcements. But no reinforcements could reach them fast enough. Vorn Talesh banged his staff on the floor. "Send the fleet again. Target every human ship." Reports arrived immediately. Every ship sent to attack vanished, not destroyed, just gone. Some returned days later, drifting silently. Engines offline, no crew alive. The council began to realize a terrible truth. These humans were not only strong, they were beyond their understanding. The human restraint, despite their overwhelming power, the humans did not kill indiscriminately. They disabled weapons, neutralized soldiers, and left the civilian populations untouched. They moved like shadows, precise and cold, but never cruel. Commander Ryan Carter looked down at Ardent Prime from the Revenant. "This is enough for them to remember," he said. "We are not murderers. We are humans, and humans remember." His second-in-command, Officer Mira, asked, "Sir, should we continue the strike?" Ryan shook his head. "No, let them live to tell the story. Let them remember what they did." The aftermath. As the sun set over Ardent Prime, the council members gathered in secret. Their world was safe, for now. Cities were intact, civilians alive, but their fleets were destroyed, their defenses broken. Vorn Talesh paced. How could they have done this? Gareen Dosa, the reptilian council member, spoke softly. They waited. They prepared. They remembered every insult, every mockery. And now they are teaching us the price of arrogance. The council realized that the humans had changed. They were no longer just survivors. They were a force that demanded respect. The warning across the planet. The citizens whispered stories of the Black Fleet, the silent ships, and the mysterious message. Fear and awe spread in equal measure. And far above Ardent Prime, the Revenant disappeared into the darkness of space. But its message remained. This is only the beginning. Remember the forgotten. Humanity does not forget. The council shivered. The galaxy had seen the power of Earth's children, and they knew, without a doubt, that the humans were coming for more than remembrance. The age of the Iron Fleet had begun. The Council's halls had never felt so quiet. The usual chatter, debates, and laughter were gone. Now only fear lingered, heavy, cold, and inescapable. Ardent Prime was crippled. Their fleets lay scattered across space, disabled by ships that no one had seen until it was too late. And the message repeated in every council member's mind. "We remember, do you?" A growing panic chairman, Vorn Talash, slammed his staff against the floor. "Send another fleet. Block every route. Use every weapon. Destroy them before they reach our home systems." But even he was uncertain. Reports came in faster than orders could be given. Supply convoys vanished. Observation posts went silent. Entire border planets reported strange black shapes watching them in orbit, then disappearing. Admirals argued. "Sir, our fleets cannot reach them." One shouted. "They are faster than our fastest ships, and their shields. Nothing penetrates them." Even Vorn hesitated. The humans were no longer a rumor or a ghost story. They were real, whispers in the council in private. Some council members whispered that humanity had become something beyond comprehension. "They are not just ships," said Karine Dosa quietly. "They are minds. Machines, yes, but with human intellect and memories. They adapt. They think like humans. Only faster." Vorn shook his head. "They cannot think this way. They are extinct." A junior officer spoke, voice trembling. "They are here. They are watching. They remember every slight, every insult, every mockery. They do not forget." Silence followed. Even Vorn could not deny the weight of the words. The first council strategy. In desperation, the council convened its strongest leaders. Plans were drawn, fleets were deployed, and weapons were activated. Every alien race capable of sending ships to the front lines was commanded to strike Earth's fleet wherever it appeared. But the humans never attacked first. Instead, they waited. Patient, silent, and precise. Every attack launched by the Council failed. Ships were disabled, never destroyed. Communication lines cut. Drones mapped the entire battlefield. And the humans left one simple warning after every encounter. "We do not seek war, but we will defend our memory." The spread of fear news of the humans' abilities spread like wildfire. Pilots whispered of black ships appearing out of nowhere, disabling fleets without a shot fired. Scientists debated what kind of technology could allow such speed and precision. Historians compared humanity to legends, mythical beings that were gone but whose stories were too powerful to forget. Fear had reached every corner of the galaxy. Worlds that once ignored Earth now shivered at the thought of its children returning. The Council's division, Vorn Talash, called another emergency session. He pounded the table. "We must strike before they grow stronger." But Karine Dosa spoke against him. "Chairman, we cannot fight what we do not understand. Every fleet sent has been destroyed. Not killed, just disabled. This is a test, not a war. Perhaps, if we negotiate, we may survive." Vorn's eyes narrowed. "Negotiate? With humans? They will never forgive the mockery of centuries." The room erupted into chaos. Some delegates agreed with Karine, fearing the humans' full wrath. Others shouted for total annihilation. The council was divided, and in that division, fear thrived. The first true fear deep in space, the Iron Fleet moved silently toward the outer systems. Commander Ryan Carter watched the galaxy, noting every movement of the council. "They are afraid," he said to Officer Mira. Mira nodded. "Even they cannot hide it." Ryan's voice was calm, cold, and precise. "Good. Fear is a teacher. They will remember, and when they do, they will respect us. That is all we seek. Remembrance, not revenge." The humans' power was not in firepower alone. It was in control of perception. Every council fleet that tried to strike was left powerless. Their arrogance shattered. A warning. Across the galaxy, the humans sent messages across the galaxy into every major system, to every trading post, to every alien settlement. The universe laughed at Earth's plea. "Humanity remembers. Let this warning guide your actions." Every world that received the message froze. Some laughed nervously. Others prayed. The council feared rebellion from within. Some member races began to wonder aloud, are we on the right side of history? Even spies and informants sent by the council reported the same thing. Human ships were everywhere, yet nowhere could pinpoint them. Their strikes left no dead civilians, only disabled fleets. Every encounter ended with the same message: humanity remembers. The Council's nightmare chairman Vorn Tal-Esh could feel it, the crushing weight of fear. His fleets were useless. His people were terrified. The humans did not need to attack cities, planets, or populations. They simply existed, silent and unstoppable, and their presence alone commanded obedience. A single thought haunted Vorn. What have we unleashed? He knew the truth, deep inside. The humans were no longer the species he had mocked centuries ago. They were stronger, smarter, and united by memory and purpose. And soon, every corner of the galaxy would see it. The calm before the reckoning. Far from the Council's worlds, the Iron Fleet prepared for the next stage. Ships aligned, drones activated, and communication lines secured. Ryan Carter addressed his officers. The Council fears us. Good. Let them. We do not strike to kill. We strike to teach. We move only when necessary. Patience is our weapon, and memory is our shield. Mira smiled faintly. The galaxy has never seen humans like this. Ryan's eyes narrowed. They will, soon. In silence, the humans waited, a storm forming at the edge of the galaxy. The Council did not know it yet, but the age of humanity had returned, and fear was only the beginning. The galaxy held its breath. For centuries, the Galactic Council had ruled without fear. They were untouchable, their fleets unmatched, their decisions absolute. Now all of that had changed. Reports poured in from every sector, fleets were disabled, systems left powerless, and mysterious black ships patrolled the stars. The humans had arrived, and this time they were coming for the heart of the Council. The approach above Ardent Prime. The skies darkened. Thousands of black ships moving in perfect formation glided silently toward the planet. The humans' fleet was larger than ever. The Iron Fleet had grown in secret, strengthened over decades. On the Council's observation decks, alarm screamed. Chairman Vorn Tal-Esh pounded the table in frustration. Target them! Open fire, he shouted. Missiles launched, energy beams cut through space. But the humans did not dodge or attack. They simply waited as if time itself bent around them. A junior officer trembled. Sir, they are unstoppable. Vorn's face paled. He had laughed at Earth centuries ago. Now, he wondered if he had made the galaxy's gravest mistake. The message before the storm. Suddenly, the humans spoke. Not through weapons, not through ships, but directly into every communication channel. This is Commander Ryan Carter of the Iron Fleet. The universe laughed at Earth's plea. You mocked us, ignored us, dismissed our existence. We do not come for revenge. We come so you remember. Listen carefully. Humanity does not forget. Every council member heard it. Every soldier, every citizen, every world tuned into the message. Silence followed. Fear settled in. The words were not a threat, they were a judgment. The power displayed, then the humans moved. They did not fire first. They did not strike cities. Instead, they disabled every weapon the Council had prepared. Missiles vanished mid-flight. Engines shut down across the fleet and shields became useless. Entire battle formations fell apart without a single human casualty. Impossible, Vorn whispered. They are everywhere, yet nowhere. Ryan Carter watched the results from the Revenant. He addressed his fleet calmly. Do not kill unless necessary. Show them our power. Let them remember why we were laughed at. Restraint is our weapon. The Council's realization Karine Dosa, the reptilian council member, looked around the chamber. We cannot fight them, she admitted quietly. They are beyond our technology. Beyond our tactics, they are perfection. Vorn Tal-Esh shook with rage. No, he said through clenched teeth. We will find a weakness. We always do. But deep inside, he feared the truth. These humans had prepared for centuries. Every insult, every mockery, every failure of the past had been remembered and stored in their minds. And now they were delivering a lesson the galaxy would never forget. The non-lethal conquest. The humans did not attack civilians or non-military areas. Instead, they disabled the Council's weapon stations, neutralized fleets, and demonstrated control over the galaxy without spilling blood. It was not destruction. It was retribution and education combined. Messages were sent to every corner of the galaxy. We do not kill without cause, but we do not forgive insult. Remember the forgotten. Humanity remembers. Panic spread among the Council and their allies. Fear gripped even the bravest warriors. For the first time in history, the galaxy respected humanity, not out of awe, but out of fear mixed with admiration. The Council's surrender finally, Chairman Vorn Talesh called for a ceasefire. His fleets were crippled. His weapon systems were offline. His citizens were terrified. The humans had won without a single death. In the Council chamber, representatives spoke softly. We must surrender, Karine Dosa admitted. They will not attack civilians. But if we resist, we will lose everything. Vorn clenched his fists. Pride battled fear. But even he knew there was no other choice. The humans had proven their superiority, not by war, but by control, patience, and intelligence. A final message Commander Ryan addressed the Council one last time. We did not ask for war. We did not come to destroy you. We came to remind the galaxy that humanity exists. We remember every insult, every laugh, every dismissal. Respect us, fear us, but above all, remember us. The words echoed across Ardent Prime and beyond. It was not a threat. It was a statement of truth. The universe remembers. The Council's fleets slowly returned to their stations, powerless but alive. The galaxy had learned something fundamental. Humans were different, united, and unstoppable when wronged. For the first time, civilizations across the stars whispered about Earth with respect. No longer as a primitive begging world, no longer as a laughingstock of the galaxy, but as a legend, a species that could survive extinction, wait silently, and rise stronger than any empire. The calm after the storm, as the Iron Fleet withdrew, the humans left only one symbol floating in space, a black Earth encircled by stars. Ryan Carter spoke to his officers quietly. This is only the beginning. Humanity has reminded the galaxy of our strength, but the lesson continues. Patience, memory, and restraint will guide us. Officer Mira nodded. Will they ever challenge us again? She asked. Ryan smiled faintly. Not without remembering why we exist. Above Ardent Prime, the stars returned to their quiet brilliance. But no one forgot the reckoning of humanity. The galaxy had seen the power of memory, patience, and silent preparation, and it would never laugh at humans again. The galaxy had changed forever. The Council's fleets were crippled. Worlds that had once mocked Earth whispered its name with fear and respect. Humanity had returned not to conquer, not to destroy, but to be remembered. And the universe remembered. The aftermath of the reckoning above Ardent Prime, the Council slowly gathered. Their weapon systems were offline. Their fleets scattered, their pride shattered. Chairman Vorn Talesh sat silently, staring at the stars. For the first time in his life, he felt small, powerless against a species he had once dismissed. Karine Dosa spoke softly. They did not destroy us. They did not kill. Yet they taught the galaxy a lesson no war ever could. Vorn nodded reluctantly. Yes, the lesson of memory. They remember every slight, every insult, every dismissal. The Council realized something fundamental. Humanity's strength was not just in technology, nor numbers, nor weapons. It was in patience, unity, and remembrance. Humanity's message to the galaxy far above. Commander Ryan Carter watched Ardent Prime from the Revenant. He activated the universal broadcast. We asked for peace. We were mocked. We waited. We remembered. We do not seek revenge. We do not seek blood. We only ask to be remembered and respected. Across every world, every system, every listening post, the message echoed. Some cried. Some trembled. All understood. The humans had done what no one else could. They had forced the galaxy to see them as equals. The legacy of the forgotten planet back on hidden worlds, human colonies celebrated quietly. The children of Earth, descendants of survivors, looked at the stars with pride. They had fulfilled a promise made centuries ago, a promise carried in whispers and coded transmissions. They laughed. We remember. In secret hangars, the Iron Fleet prepared for patrols, not wars. They would continue to watch over the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Humanity had risen from the ashes, stronger, wiser, and united by memory. A universe changed across the stars. Civilizations changed too. Young species that had dismissed humanity learned caution. Old empires that had scorned the blue planet reconsidered arrogance. Stories of Earth spread, a legend, a caution, a tale of patience and silent power. Even children in distant worlds heard of the forgotten planet. They whispered its name at night, Earth, the humans who remembered. And in some schools, teachers spoke of a race that had been laughed at, only to rise silently, strike precisely, and teach respect without spilling blood. The silent guardians far from the council. The Iron Fleet moved through the stars like shadows. Ships glided silently past planets, through nebulae, over asteroid belts. Every fleet member knew their purpose: protect humanity, observe the galaxy, and ensure the memory of Earth never fades. Ryan Carter stood on the Revenant's bridge, looking out at the stars. He turned to Officer Mira. "Will the galaxy ever challenge us again?" she asked. Ryan smiled faintly. "Perhaps. But they will remember what we can do, and that memory is more powerful than any weapon." The final lesson on Ardent Prime, Vorn Talesh addressed the remaining council members. The humans did not kill. They did not conquer. Yet they humbled us in every way. We laughed at Earth once. We will never forget again. Across the galaxy, species began to tell stories. Of a planet that begged for help and was mocked. Of humans who waited in silence for centuries. Of black ships that moved like ghosts, striking only to disable, not destroy. Of a message that repeated over every system. We remember. Humanity does not forget. Legends of Earth spread across the stars, and every child who looked at the night sky knew that a world once forgotten had risen to become a symbol of resilience, patience, and respect. A universe forever changed, the galaxy returned to its rhythm. But nothing would ever be the same. The Council, humbled, no longer ruled with arrogance. New alliances formed, always remembering the lesson of Earth. And somewhere beyond the reaches of known space, the humans watched silently. They had returned not for power, not for war, but to ensure that the universe never forgot them. The galaxy had learned its lesson. To laugh at humanity was to invite respect, fear, and remembrance. The last whisper on a distant world. A child asked an elder, pointing to the stars, "Are the humans still out there?" The elder smiled softly, eyes glimmering. "Yes, they never left. They remember, and they are watching." And somewhere far beyond the Council's reach, the Revenant drifted silently through the stars. The Iron Fleet patrolled the galaxy, a silent reminder, a living legend. The story of Earth had ended, yet its memory would live forever.